Hello, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Wednesday's edition of The Scoop. How are we all doing? I hope that you're having a fantastic after morning. Tito's in here nice and early. Big Zombie Monkey, aka Spike, is in here. But not only that, Naked Neil has begun the show with his resubscribed at tier 1 for 3 months, Mr. Naked Neil. 3 months, baby! Thank you very much, mate. We very much appreciate that. I hope that you are having a fantastic day so far. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I am in the studio here in Poulton Liffield, aka Blackpool, aka somewhere near Fleetwood somewhere. Graham Skyven again. He's still unwell, so that's why you just got my adorable, lovely face for the next hour or so. Ish. I mean, the news again is abysmal, considering we are at one of the most crucial times in probably video game history, with all of the video games that have been coming out over the last 3 weeks and will continue to do so over the next 5. The news is just a bit shit, if I'm being honest. But we still make sure out of it. We still want to give you as much content as we possibly can, and that includes bringing you this. The Scoop is obviously the video game UK's #1 video game podcast, but this is our, what's the word I'm looking for? This is our staple show, shall we say? This is the one that we go with live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. on the dot, because we're never ever late. It's definitely an ish. It's now 1:45. But, you know, work stuff comes first, and we've got a beautiful studio here, which I did mention yesterday, is going to be getting a massive overhaul within the next couple of weeks. We do have nearly every single part that we have ordered and require in the very next room, which is the meeting room in between here and the foyer. That's a really posh way of saying front door. But yeah, it's all in there. We are going to get some pictures sorted out just before we start to rip everything apart. What you can't see, and what is completely out of shot at the moment, is we have planks of wood holding up the stage. This is definitely going behind the scenes. We have planks of wood holding up the stage so that we can get closer to the desk, which is why I'm leaning forward a little bit, because it feels like my posture's all over the gaff. I'm not used to how this sits now, because we're a lot higher up. And I'm quite a tall bloke. I'm 6'1", so cramming myself underneath this desk and being a bigger boy we'll get there eventually. But half the panelling is missing off the side of the studio. So yeah, basically work has started to go underway now with some of the wiring stuff, some of the easy win stuff where we can still use the studio for the time being. There will become a time in the next few weeks where we will not be streaming live from the studio, which obviously kind of takes out Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday streams. That may be able to get rectified, and we may have to do it an alternative way, i.e. doing it from home, or Graham will be coming in from doing it from home, and I might be in one of the offices somewhere as I'm sorting out all of the PC stuff. I'm not too sure, but we'll figure that one out, and we'll give you enough notice to understand that you don't have to linger around in the chat like I know some of you guys do. When I log in the morning, I change the stream title. That's when I come in the morning. That's at 7:30, and I'll just leave our Twitch chatbot thing on, and I see that Lotus popping in every now and again, Tito popping in, just dropping in emojis, even though none of us are even live yet. So again, we very much appreciate that, guys. I have seen Spike's message in there still saying he's waiting for his hat. He probably seen it in Discord yesterday, but for those of you that may have missed that, or missed it at the beginning of the stream yesterday, the hats have been sent. Where I took them to the post office yesterday afternoon. They have now been shipped. They should be with you by the end of the week, i.e. Saturday. Fingers crossed. If you are late and you're obviously abroad, then it's going to take a little bit longer. It says between 6 to 7 days. I'm going to say 8 or 9, if I'm being perfectly honest, because Royal Mail are not the best. And I don't know how their international shipping works. So hopefully by this time next Friday, Lake, you should have your hat as well. So again, by the end of the week, if you don't have it by, say, Sunday, obviously there is no post on Sunday. If you don't have it on Sunday, let us know in the Discord. Either myself or Graham or in the ICU merch part. We do have tracking numbers and stuff like that, so we can try and figure out where that is for you. So hopefully we'll get some more information. Next Gen Base is in there saying, hello, Bib. I'm guessing this is Ben. Congratulations on your article today with Gran Turismo 7. I'm hearing very good things, including what Asim's mentioned about that game as well. The fact that it works on PlayStation 4 Pro and PlayStation 5 and looks glorious on them all is a fantastic win, so we'll see how that is. Next Gen Base says, it's not that shit, Gran Turismo reviews are out, there you go, it even should have gone down. Timeless is in here as well. He says, baby stream! GT looks a bit special. Tito says, can you try and wrap it up quickly? I've got 2 episodes of Dexter New Blood I want to finish. Mate, it's a dollop, so you know that you're probably going to get about 40 minutes worth of a podcast, because it's not as great when you're talking on your own, albeit you guys obviously do help out, be giving us your thoughts and opinions in the chat, so that's always appreciated. 6.1, big boy Bibbit, yeah. I mean, it probably would be a little bit better if my posture was great, so I'd actually look like I was 6'1" rather than hunching over like a little old lady. But that's just the way it is. Sitting down behind a desk for the last 11 years of my life has definitely played and caused havoc with my back. Tito says, do I? Someone's impersonating me. Spike says, is still waiting for his hat. I've just rectified that one. First class is 1 or 2 days, second is 2 or 3, so Friday makes sense. It has gone second class signed, so you will have to sign for it for you to be able to take hold of it. Tito says, if it was Hermes, it will be in your wheelie bin in the wheelie bin sometime within the next 6 weeks, standard. Ben says, May solid 60 on PS4 on Pro, ridiculous performance. It shows what a massive difference an optimized game makes, doesn't it? Like, if you've got a game that's completely optimized, you can put it on pretty much anything and it'll work as well as it should do. If it's just been, okay, we'll make it for the PS5 and then we'll downscale it and then hopefully it'll run, then that's obviously where issues start to come. Graham is in the chat. GT7 is getting spicy over VGC Twitter replies. I did see that earlier. So yeah, I think they was the only people that give it a lower score. They give it 3 stars out of 5, and a lot of people are hating on them for that. But at the end of the day, if you're writing a review, it's entirely your opinion. If people don't like it, tough shit. How is Catherine Ryan going to see Ice Cream Uploads being repped now? When is it you go? Thursday? I mean, to be fair, second class is 2 to 3 days, and I did send it early enough for it to be shipped the same day, if that makes any sense. Because the depot, literally, it's not a post office that I've took it to. I've literally taken it to the depot. They have a depot at the bottom of our road in Pulton. So you are literally not taking it to the post office, which then gets taken to your depot and then shipped out. I've cut out the middleman, boys. I've gone straight to the man at the end for him to be able to send it on its merry way, wherever you are. So yeah, tomorrow is where you're going. You never know, it may arrive then. Hopefully. I was expecting it hand delivered with a signed photo of Graham. I mean, we'd have probably charged more for delivery if that was the case. We'd have charged you the 20 quid for delivery if that was it. And Graham will turn up on your door, give you a firm handshake, signed picture, and then he'll put the hat on your head for you. King Comic is hosting us as well. I very much appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'd have paid in alcohol. I mean, if it's a bottle of amaretto, he absolutely would have taken that. So, bruv, says King Comic, and Tito says, nah, it does come with a bottle of Bibble Bath, though. To be fair, I was still wearing my underwear yesterday when I took that picture. Didn't want any kind of reflection knob shots. It would have been unidentifiable. Unidentifiable, is that a word? It is anyway. Had my knob have been involved, I mean, what a podcast this is, had my knob have been involved in that picture. If you want to know more, go to our Discord, all the information that we're talking about, we're listening there. But anyway, this is a video games news podcast. We go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish. I have a live from the studio in Pulton, as is today, or live from our home setups, both in Manchester, one in Salford, one in East Manchester, which is Hyde. Represent, big boy. But yeah, we go live each and every single weekday. We give you the video game news from around the globe, basically so you don't have to. So if you do listen to any podcast services, i.e. Spotify, Google Play, iTunes and SoundCloud, as well as if you want to see our beautiful faces, go onto Twitch and YouTube. It's Ice Cream Uploads across all of those social media platforms, is it? Shall we say? Media platforms? I don't know. Just search for Ice Cream Uploads, The Scoop podcast, and you'll be able to find us on all of those things. You help shape the shows, obviously. You give us some news in the morning. If we don't, obviously we find the news articles. You give us some news articles. You give your thoughts and impressions. We give our thoughts and impressions. And the show goes round in a nice little gentle circle. We have a nice little discussion. We talk about stuff, usually off topic, and we get distracted for about half an hour, which is obviously why you guys keep on coming back. Because we are not an automated machine. We are not a well-oiled machine, we definitely get distracted by the most stupidest of things. But that's where the personality, I think, comes into it as well. Spike says, Bibble Bath is a class name that needs to be a thing. Could throw in Man U fans in the derby match when it happens. Tino says, does your camera have good enough zoom lens for that? Absolutely. Well, it's a Pixel 6, so who knows? I mean, we can try if you want. That could be the subscription that you want. It could be the extra subscription. That could be Ice Cream Uploads Plus or I See You After Dark or something like that. JMK says, afternoon! I got a Twitch notification. I never got a Twitch notification today for some reason. Interesting. I have noticed, actually, and again, completely off topic, I have noticed that if you have been a long-time viewer of a channel and you've been following them for ages, you have to actually go back in and re-tick the bell every now and again. I've noticed that for streams that I used to frequently watch that I thought, are they just not streaming anymore? I log into Twitch and they are streaming. I go onto my phone and I have to tick the notification bell again. I don't know why. It's like it's just caches somewhere. It's bizarre. But yeah, it's definitely worth doing that if you've not done it already. Timeless says, when is the new WWE 2K22 review embargo? I'm not sure. Ben may be able to give you a little bit more on that. I don't know who it would be at Next Gen Base who will be reviewing that. It could be him. It could be Nico. It could be Asim. I'm not sure it will be Asim, obviously, because he did have 2K ties quite a bit back. So I'm not too sure, but maybe we'll find out soon if they're still in the chat. Glad to WWE 2K is on the PC, but very much waiting for some time before I make that buy, as I think there will be a lot of teething issues. I agree, probably. Big Zombie Monkey says, man, you fans coming from home games like I got bibbled. Tom says, I was expecting 7s after hearing the review points presently. Surprised to see a lot of 8s and 9s. All reviews for GT seems to have the point of negatives, but state rather than minor gripes. I mean, it's teething issues, you know what I mean? Nico's covering it for us, says Ben. Not sure if I'm allowed to confirm the embargo date. That seems bizarre, doesn't it? That seems bizarre that you can't give a date. I mean, I don't want you to. If there's a grey area there, you know as well as I do. I don't need to tell you anything. You already know this, but you don't need to give us that kind of information because I would rather not have your website being taken down just for the sake of us having a conversation. Taste bad. Morning all. How's it going, mate? How you doing? But it is next week. Okay, cool. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. It's out Tuesday, so less than a week. Surely not. The embargo date cannot be Monday if that's the case. The embargo date cannot be Monday. If it is, that is a shambles. It needs to be a little bit more than that. I can't imagine it being over the weekend either. So that's bizarre. We'll just say Monday for the embargo. Obviously, we don't know this information. This is definitely coming, making our own opinions, as it says. As above, code's not gone out yet. That is outrageous. I've always worried when reviews come out a day before release. Makes me wonder what they're hiding. I agree. Is it the worst kept secret at this point that it could have a lot of teething issues? I mean, that kind of goes without saying, doesn't it? But it's still my most anticipated game of this year, WWE 2K22. It's a game that I've been looking forward to a while. So I suppose we'll have to wait till Monday. I can't believe they're not sent out the code yet. It looks like Asim had a long time to be able to pull together his kind of reviews for GT7. So that's just being organised. 20% of the 2K22 rosters don't work with WWE, which is interesting. I saw that. We about GT not long now. Yep, exactly. Friday, King Comic Friday. I don't know if you order it from, I don't know, Amazon or my favorite place, the Game Collection. They usually send it like a day early, which is quite nice. Next gen basis, we've got GT a couple of weeks early. We got Horizon almost a month early. That's what I mean. That just seems like organisation to me. You want your product to be reviewed to the absolute maximum it can be so that people don't miss stuff, so that people can just dig into stuff a little bit deeper. A day before, how can you play the game for a while and then be able to make a decent enough review for a game that you've had for less than 24 hours? It seems bizarre. Then we got Elden Ring on the Monday for a Wednesday embargo, hence it's a review in progress. It's I don't know what I can say about it without literally criticising them to the absolute nth degree, but I mean, you're kind of setting yourself up for a fail at this point. We've seen this with Cyberpunk. They didn't show anything beforehand, and everyone had to have B-roll until it came out and then realised how much of a disaster it is. If I was a PR agency, me personally, then I would absolutely be trying to get this out as soon as I possibly could to make sure that everything that comes back to us is justified. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, best one we got GTA 5. Got it the day before launch with a launch day embargo. Review for Elden Ring in 2 days. Yeah, okay, nice work from Soft. Still waiting for my Elden Ring to arrive, which means any other game by now will be a while off. That's what my back catalogue is unbelievable. We're talking about this with some of the PES lads this morning. Like, our backlogs of video games will absolutely carry on to our firstborn children and stuff like that. Like, they will take over where we definitely left behind. But anyway, I'm rabbiting on. You've come here for video game news. That is exactly what I'm going to give you today. I did check everything before we went live today. The capture card was working. My screen did just flash white again, so hopefully the capture card wouldn't have died halfway through this. I'm just going to take a quick swig of my brew before we move into the first news article. How's about that? I'll tell you what, I'll get it up on screen. You should have already seen it from the tweet if you haven't already. We did talk about this yesterday in terms of what the actual product is, but it looks like some of the units have gone out and it looks like some of them maybe were even returned quite quickly. So let's jump into this first news article of the day. Quick swig of my brew. Cheers. So, written by Chris Scullion over at VGC, early Steam Deck owners are already reporting stick drift. Shit. Something that the Nintendo Switch has been suffering for the longest time. It looks like your £300+ console is also suffering from stick drift, of which doesn't look like you can replace them as easy as a Joy-Con, does it? So let's dig into the full body of this one, again written by Chris Scullion. Some early owners of the Steam Deck are reporting that their units issues with stick drift. One user posted a video on Reddit with the caption, "Experiencing stick drift on the right stick already." This video shows the Steam Deck controller input test screen and the player moving the right stick. As they move the stick, its X and Y values change on the screen. However, when a player lets go of the stick, X and Y values continue to move instead of showing 0, 0 like they should. We should be able to play this video. Here we go. So there's no sound on this one. You can see it from the video inside there. Again, been posted onto Reddit. You can see the values in the bottom corner here. Again, audio listeners, I apologise. But you can see down here, once he lets go, or she lets go, it should be a 0. But it's not. It's maintaining its last input values, which is not great for a console that probably relies, well, any analog stick relies on a dead zone, it being in the middle. A second user submitted a different video an hour later saying my Stream Deck is also drifting on the right Joy-Con after light use. This video shows the same issue. The players see moving the right analog stick on the input test screen. They let go of the stick and X and Y values continue to change. Most game controller sticks are at risk of drift over time as parts degrade, but the issue has almost been most commonly associated with the Nintendo Switch in recent years. Valve hardware engineer Yasin, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Aldehite? Yasin Aldehite, we'll go with that, claimed last year that the company was doing everything they could to avoid stick drift within the first 4 days of it being out. Some people have got stick drift, but hey ho. Speaking to IGN, Aldehite says, "We have a ton of testing on reliability on all fronts, really, and all inputs to different environment factors, all that kind of stuff. I feel like this will need to perform really well, and I think that all the people will be super happy with it." I think that it's going to be a great buy. I mean, obviously every part will fail at some point, but we think they'll be very satisfied and happy with this. Joy-Con drift has been a reoccurring issue for Switch owners since the console's launch in 2007. Blah, 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 blah. We've covered all that before. You don't need to know that stuff. They got taken to court. Somebody won. Blah. But yeah, I'm just going to run through the comments again as well, because it looks like the comments have started to roll forward a little bit too. So we're going to bring it. I'll tell you what. Coming a little bit closer. You've seen us from all the way back over there. Come forward a little bit. Join me. Join me at the desk. Hi. Ice Cream Uploads, Bibby here. How we doing? Timeless says, fixed patch along with... Fixed patch is coming. Apparently, how can they think that they can fix stick drift with an update? I have no idea. Agree. The only positive is the design is modular and the sticks drop out without soldering required, says Tito. Yeah, but I mean, you have to take it apart, mate. You have to take it apart. Your average consumer, I include myself on this, we do not want to open our consoles up because we are at risk of 1, losing parts, 2, damaging the internals, and 3, just fucking your machine up left, right and centre. The amount of times I tried to change the screen on my phone or my iPod Touch or something like that back in the day, I fucked every single one of them up because I'm useless at doing stuff like that. My hands are I'm too heavy-handed to be able to do stuff like this. So having a console for 4 days and having to send it back, a Joy-Con, fair enough, you might be able to take it back to game and then just get them swapped out. You're good to go if you've got the warranty on that. But in terms of this, you're sending the entire unit back. How long it'll take to get back to you, I'm not too sure. In fairness to Valve, they've made it incredibly user-serviceable. Like, it seems like this was related to a miscalibrated dead zone. Potentially, that isn't absolutely confirmed as far as I'm aware so far. But again, if you're having to take calibrating them is pretty easy. I've got an RG350. If you've seen one of those before, it's a very small retro Android Pocket kind of deal. It's a bit smaller than a PlayStation, PSP, but you can play all sorts of PlayStation 1 games and old school Game Boy games and stuff like that. And you can fix a dead zone on that one by recalibrating it again. But eventually, it's going to miss the mark. That's where the calibration doesn't work anymore because the Joy-Cons or the analog sticks themselves are pretty fucked. But I mean, straight off the bat, 4 days in, shouldn't be happening. Care should have been taken to calibrate them properly, every single unit, as you would imagine. Because again, people who don't know how to calibrate stuff, like my granddad is a gamer. My granddad is a gamer. He's 75 years old. My granddad is a gamer. He loves playing his video games. But if anything fails with that console, he has no idea how to fix it. All he knows is how to turn it on, put his game in, and play the game with the controller. That is it. Anything else in between, I have to go around and sort it out. So I'm not saying the average customer is a 75-year-old bloke who enjoys playing old World War games, but in terms of people who might be a technophobe but enjoy just being able to switch on a button and be able to play a game, that's what you've got to assume your larger customer base is. So for something like this to potentially go wrong 4 days in, I'm not down with that, if I'm being honest. Steam released a video on how to replace the joysticks as well as a full teardown. I mean, you'd expect someone like Linus and Spawnwave and stuff like that for those guys to be doing teardowns and stuff, but again, an average consumer won't have is it like a T5 screwdriver and stuff like that, having a full TS set of screwdrivers. You probably, I did have a set, don't know where they are now, but I did have those things to be able to try and get into whatever it was that I was trying to get into at the time. But again, it comes down to your average consumer. King Comet says, PS5 controller isn't all that good as well. Get stick drift breakdown within months. You get the warranty as well. Spike says, I'm waiting for the temp fix, but lost with something like, if you stuff a tissue under the stick and tap it with a wet fish, it'll fix it. Put it in rice, mate. Put it in rice. Tito says, that's because you've got a bare paws, baby. I absolutely am, though. I absolutely have. My hands are gigantic. Sometimes I think that they're genuinely too big. I was going to say something absolutely disgusting then, but I'll refrain. I will bite my tongue. Nintendo don't allow us to take back faulty Joy-Cons now. It has to be sent off within 30 days or have extended warranty, says Timeless. Sent off within the first 30 days. Okay. I have all the tools now. Yeah, Spike's a big hacker. Spike is a big hacker nowadays. Sticker text, Twitch, Internet, Elgato capture cards, and all the audio after this morning string, rage inducing. Mate, the more things you add to your setups, if you are a streamer, the more points of failure there are, and that is the most frustrating thing. You buy stuff to try and make things easier. In turn, it turns out to be something that can become a nightmare because you end up in a vicious circle. Fatman Dave said the Steam Deck is all standard screws, no security screws. Rox says this is why I stick to PC, no stick drift. Yeah, I was going to say something else then, but I am baiting myself here. But yeah, obviously PC. I mean, console gaming is the easiest form of video gaming in terms of you've got your console, you've got your controller, you're good to go. If there's a point of failure there, you should be able to try and get that repaired quite quickly. With modern hardware and handheld stuff and things like that, chances are they're going to be a lot easier to fix as well. But PC stuff, I find PC stuff a little bit... what's the word I'm looking for? Daunting? Intimidating is probably the word I'm looking for. Again, there's a lot of moving parts within that tower, and sometimes you want to do a little cheeky upgrade, you want to add a little bit more RAM in there. That can become a problem if you don't know what you're doing because there's so many different variations of a particular thing. Spike says the PCs are easy once you start selling. Exactly, but it feels like you have to go on a fucking I don't know, some kind of exam. like a rocket scientist exam to be able to get it done. You have to watch a billion YouTube videos. If you've got the time to learn it, absolutely, that's what you should be doing. Like, if you are a PC player, you should learn all the mechanics of it. I don't have a PC. If it's fucked, I take it to the shop down the road and they fix it for me. Mike says, but this is Madge. He's got the same name as Magic Man. So forgive me. Again, you guys will probably do this as well. You see Madge and you think, oh, Madge is here, but it's actually not that Madge. It's Mike Antkel. He's changed his name, okay? So I'm just putting that one out there. Sam doesn't think that they're too big, says Spike. That was along the same lines as what I was going to say, but a lot less crude. I have to wonder what some people are doing with their controllers. I've had stick drift on maybe one controller in 20 years. I did actually start to get them on my Nintendo Switch, and I swapped them out for the Hori split controllers because they are a lot bigger anyway and suit my hands a lot better. But the stick drift does. I carry my Switch literally everywhere that I go, though. Like in my work bag upstairs, my Nintendo Switch is in there. Like, it doesn't come out of my bag unless I'm playing on it. So I can see it being thrown around in my bag for quite a while. Rox, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it, mate. Yeah, definitely appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around. My Switch comes everywhere with me, so I can see it being banged around and it can cause a few problems. I'm surprised the screen hasn't cracked in the 5 years that I've had one, but we move. Tito says, my controllers never last long enough to get stick drift. What advantage of playing FIFA I get? Baiting yourself? I've heard you're a master of it. Fantastic. Imagine playing Elden Ring, WWE 2K22 or GT7 with a mouse and keyboard. Yeah, that would be something special. Madge says, stick drift can be a nightmare on FIFA players. Just whip out skill moves from nothing. PCs are like fucking Lego bib. It's a piece of piss these days. Fair. I mean, maybe for a lot of people, but again, the average person is an idiot like me. Mate, you really don't. It's like learning skills in FIFA. At first, you're like, what the fuck? Then you start trying it. I mean, I know how to do a step over on FIFA and a McGeady spin. Have some of that. I'll take anyone out with it. Audio is my main failing. I struggle with audio issues. And Fatman Dave says, same here. I've never had stick drift and I use DualShock from time to time with the USB adapter on the PC. I just can't be asked to build one, says Magic. But yeah, that's the first news story of the day. It's not the biggest news story in the world, but I do think it's something that it needs to be talked about because they're not really got a free shot at this with the expense of the unit itself and the people who are manufacturing them with the name on the front of it. You can't expect mistakes, and unfortunately, a couple of them are failing. This is based off of 3 reports, by the way, that's been posted to Reddit. This isn't something that's been unanimously battered across social media or anything like that. This is just the first kind of reports that they could potentially have stick drift. It's just a PSA. It's nothing to say that the Valve have making a terrible job. I mean, I have put a clickbaity headline out there because why not? Do you know what I mean? I'm along the lines. It's nothing. I haven't used something that's completely distrue. I've just embellished the truth a little bit. Nothing wrong with that, surely, as a journalist. And I use the term journalist very loosely at this point. Madge says, I just can't be asked to build one. And Keiki says, building them is the best part. Troubleshooting is the worst part. Keiki, you build PCs, don't you? I'm fairly certain that's what you do for a living. Spike says, I was the same, turned 39 and finally had the money, never looked back since. You don't even play on your PlayStation anymore, do you, Spike? You just play on your PC all the time. I've had a controller ever suffer from stick drift, and that was a PS4 controller. I hate your clickbait shit. I mean, I miss some shows and then want to know what the deal was. I mean, to be fair, the clickbait stuff that we post out isn't too far away from the truth. It's not something that's on the other end of the spectrum. It's just a different way of wording what it is in the article headline. And you could arguably say that that's clickbait, or you could arguably say that I've embellished the truth. So, I don't know. I think we're doing a very good job of towing the line. Kind of ice cream at loads, run a small IT company, been building professionally for over 20 years for customers. There you go. You've got a PC building business in my eyes. That's all I'm going to know you for now. But we've still got 3 news articles, so why don't we blast through these? Hey. Speaking of games that we're going to blast through, a little tangent for you there. Moving on to Eurogamer. I'm going to have to move myself because we are right in the thick of it here. Written by Tom Phillips over on Eurogamer. He states that Back 4 Blood hits 10 million players and Tunnels of Terror expansion is due in April. Back 4 Blood has passed, again, in the first line of this is the same as the tagline. 10 million player mark. Developer Turtle Rock Studios trumped today. The spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, released back in October last year on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. By the end of that month, it had 6 million players already, no doubt boosted by its arrival on Xbox Game Pass. Today, it also brings words of Tunnels of Terror, a major expansion set to arrive on the 12th of April as part of the game's annual pass. This adds new PvE activity, fresh cleaners, ridden variants, and yet more characters and gun skins. Ridden Hives, the expansion, the new PvE mode, is a 4-player co-op dungeon crawler feature, 7 different labyrinths to explore. It's here you'll find new warped ridden enemy, which will also be added to the PvP swarm mode. 2 new playable cleaners, Charisse, an axe-wielding firefighter, and Heng, a no-nonsense restaurateur. Is that right? Have I said that right? I think I have, you know. I think I've absolutely battered that one. 12 weapon skins, 8 characters. That wasn't in the article, by the way. 12 weapon skins, 8 character skins, 7 new legendary weapons, and 1 difficulty setting. No hope. It's a nice move. Only 1 person in your core party will need to own Tunnels of Terror expansions for all players to access its content. I'm sorry, I've got the driest throat in the world, which is why I keep on stuffing. I do apologise. But Turtle Rock today commented it's not adding any new microtransactions to the game as part of the expansion either, or any future content updates. So I'm just going to pop into this here. We can all read this together. And this is where you see that I blocked out for you on Twitter. Anyway, where we're looking. This is what we're looking at. This is what we're looking at. So Back 4 Blood Tunnels of Terror Expansion 1. I'm aware that I am over a little bit of it there, so I apologise. The new Warped Risen, as you can see, the Ripper, the Shredder, and the Urchin. 8 exclusive skins, all new cleaners, Charisse and Hang. Ridden Hives, all new PvE activity, and also some legendary warped chests, skull totems, and 15 plus new cards, legendary weapons, and attachments, plus more. All available in this April's new expansion. Ladies and gentlemen, what do we think of this news? Have you managed to get yourself onto Back 4 Blood yet? I am a big advocate of this game. I do love this game a lot. I have gone back and played it since we got to play it on launch. I've not probably played it as much as I would do because the AI on this is abysmal. It's almost as bad as it was on Left 4 Dead. So it's just about trying to find people to be able to play with, lock it down, and then move through. But one of my favourite gaming experiences, actually streaming this game with, there was me, Show, Graham, and Ads. That was a fun playthrough. I'm sure Spike jumped in as well at one point. I'm sure I'm missing somebody else, so I'm sure there was like 6 of us that was alternating. But yeah, this game is fantastic. The fact that they're bringing out more expansion for it means that they're backing it and it's not something that's dead on arrival. This is fantastic news. 10 million players have managed to get their hands on this. What their actual day-to-day numbers are like, I'm not too sure, but it's always nice to shout about a round figure, just like 130,000 of you listening to this podcast over the last 2.5 years. There you go. Massive shoe on in there, but we get there. We move. Going back through the chat then. Spike says, yeah, I'm pretty much PC only these days. Fatman Day says, troubleshooting gets easier with practice, just annoying filling out form with diagnostics. KKB says, where's your sidekick? He's in the chat. You can see him right there. That's not me that's using that. He's right there in the chat. Madge says, great game. Timeless says, I don't care what the article headline is. I'm here to see yours and Graham's wonderful faces. Oh, thank you very much. I do try to look after it. No hope sounds like the difficulty setting of my life, says Madge. Timeless says, I'll be honest, I've completely forgotten Back 4 Blood exists. I have it on very good authority that you could pick this game up for the next to nothing. I'm sure I got an email from perhaps the Game Collection not long ago saying that you can pick this up even for PlayStation 5 for £17. It is 110% worth your time if you haven't got Xbox Game Pass and want to be able to play this game. It may be something that we jump onto on stream again at some point. If you are an Xbox user, obviously, because I ain't paid £17 for something that I can get for Game Pass for free. Are you mad? Are you mad? Keiki says, never played it. Is it any good? It is very, very good. If you've played Left 4 Dead before, you'll understand. You will understand it's just a better version of that. In my opinion, a lot of people still enjoy the Left 4 Deads a lot more than this, but I still think this is a fantastic game. I'll tell you what, let's watch the trailer. I'll leave it on there for you. Let's bring this up big screen. Jump back into the game frame. So this is part of a tweet. that on the Back for Blood page. It is a 4-player shoot 'em up, pretty much. It's relentless. It's fast paced. It's rage inducing. RK says, "How are you doing?" I'm doing fine, thank you, mate. How are you doing? So yeah, it's pretty much available on everything. I want to ask you something. Fire away. Make sure it's a good question, though. Make sure it's a good question. So then, that's the second news article of the day done. Let's move on to bigger and better things, mate. Which shall we go for first? Let's go for this one. From 1 year, no job, says RK. I'll come back to that. Because this is a video game news podcast, so we need to try and keep up the pace here. I need 350. Tell me what to do. You need $350 with 1 year with no job. My immediate thought is to potentially go out and try and find a new job, but that will be pretty condescending because I am fairly certain that you have tried to do that in the past. So, alternative for that, offer your services online for whatever you are good at. If you're a designer, go freelance. If you are someone who's very good with your hands, go and wash cars or go and fix any online work. Not for us. Yeah, fucking hell, baby, got somewhere to be fine through these like nobody's business. This is the thing when you've got a dollop. I don't like the sound of my own voice, believe it or not. So it being a one-sided conversation in terms of me giving you the news and then you guys chipping in there, it makes for a good show. But in terms of someone who's probably listening to this on their podcast, they don't necessarily feel like they are part of the experience. If it's me and Graham, we can go back and forth pretty seamlessly. But if it's just me on my own, i.e. or Graham on his own, I mean, Graham can talk like nobody's business. We all know this, don't we? If you're good with your penis, well, it's of a thing. I mean, yeah, there's OnlyFans out there if you're very confident. So yeah, I advise to try and offer your services at something that you are very good at. That's probably your best bet. Again, if you're a good designer, get all your freelance work sorted out and then potentially move on from there. But yeah, my first thought, don't be ashamed of what job it is as long as you're getting money. Whether or not, again, if whatever you can get your hands on, basically, go and do. No one likes to be penniless, especially if you've got someone like family to look after. But anyway, this isn't a video. This isn't a lifestyle podcast. This isn't Bibby helps you try and get a job. This is Bibby gives you the video game news, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to jump straight back into it again. I'm going to move myself to the left-hand side because we're on VGC, written by Andy Robinson, and he states that Amazon streaming platform Luna has fully launched in the US with free Prime games. This is something that we brought to you late last year. It might have even been middle of last year that Amazon was getting into the video game streaming market to compete alongside xCloud, Google Stadia, GeForce Now, and I'm sure there's another one that I'm completely forgetting. But they are joining the platform. I tried to sign up to this as a UK customer. Not managed to get in there so far. Just having a look at the chart. If you okay, he says couldn't never shut up. Life Guru Bibs. Bibs $5, 5 million in 5 minutes, or 2 Lambos. Send a request a link in chat. It depends on what your link is, mate. The mods are there to clear up any mess that you potentially may make. So again, make this a very good link. If it is, I need to know what it is to first. This isn't just an advertising board. This ain't no billboard, man. But anyway, let's get into the news. That's what you're all here for. Amazon has launched its game streaming platform Luna for US-based customers. Luna, which is Amazon's alternative to Microsoft's xCloud and Google Stadia, has been available via invite-only early access since October 2022. Has it been that long? Christ, Graham, we've lost a year of our lives talking about this. Fuck me. It's been so long. I genuinely thought it was only the middle of last year. Woo! PayPal link, I think any viewers can help me. Absolutely not. I'm going to put my foot down here. You can't come into someone's stream and start asking money. Denied. Not happening. I've given you a free life lesson there. Not happening. He's out of here. Tally ho. The cloud gaming service is powered by Amazon's web infrastructure and allows users to stream games up to 4K 60 FPS on multiple devices including Fire TV, PC, Mac, Android and iOS through a browser. Luna's setup sees offer a library of games behind the subscription service, plus the option of adding a number of additional paid channels themed around retro games, family games and publishers such as Ubisoft, which by the way I think we covered this at the time, but they are partners which you can have Ubisoft Ubisoft Plus, or is it Ubisoft Connect, as part of your subscription for an extra fee, extra bit of money. It may say this inside here, but anyway. On Tuesday, Amazon announced that it's several new channels coming to Luna, most notably Prime Gaming Channel, which will offer a selection of free games to Prime customers, rotating each month. Again, jumping back out of the article, this is obviously something that we've seen on Twitch for the longest time. If you are an Amazon Prime customer, every single month, if you click the little crown at the top, you'll get some free games there as well. So I'm assuming that this will then feed into that library, and you might have an extensive one if you have been collecting them for the longest times. Starting this month, US Prime customers will be able to stream Devil May Cry 5, Observer, System Redux. What the hell is that? Fogs? Is that how you pronounce that? Any help? Anyway, Flashback from March 18th and Immortals Phoenix Rising. I mean, that's a game that I do actually really want to play, Immortals Phoenix Rising. I think it looks like a big game, put it that way. From April 1st, starting a new subscription on Luna will cost you $9.99 a month. That's in dollars, which will obviously be £10 in English sterling, because that's how currency conversion works. Per month for the family channel will cost $6 per month. Existing early access members and customers who sign up for Luna Plus or by March 31st can lock in founders pricing and keep Luna at $5.99 per month, and a family for $3. I mean, you can't buy a family, it's a family channel for $3 a month. Other new channels include Retro Channel, which features classic games from publishers like Capcom and SNK for $5 a month, and the Jackbox Games Channel, which includes popular games and the ability to play with non-members for $5 a month. Now that is something that Mr. Bamba will be all over. He will be all over the Jackbox family channel. I mean, he probably has them all anyway, so he doesn't need to buy them again. But that's something that I might actually look into when it moves over to the UK for you guys. Because if you haven't played any of the Jackbox games, they are the ultimate party games. Like, have a look at them. I think there's 8 of them now. It might even be 9. And they are so much fun. In addition, Amazon has added a Twitch functionality to Luna, as well as the ability to use iPhones and Android devices as a controller when playing with Fire TV with a new Luna controller app. Luna harnesses the power of the cloud, enabling customers to instantly play high-quality immersive games on the devices that they already own, says Daniel Ranch, Amazon Entertainment Devices and Services VP. Today, we're excited to make Luna available to all of our customers in the mainland USA with a unique offer for Prime members to enjoy and play free new games with the new Twitch broadcast features for creators, a broad lineup of titles for any gamer to enjoy. Prime Gaming GM Larry Poltick says that our vision for Prime Gaming has always been to improve the player experience through in-game content for the games that people love, as well as a growing library of games for free. We are thrilled to launch the Prime Gaming channel on Amazon Luna for Amazon Prime members. We've constantly heard Prime members are excited to try out cloud gaming on Luna, and now they can instantly anywhere with a unique offer of rotating library of free games from Prime Gaming. If you're in the US, if you're in the UK, you're down the shit queue, my friend. You're in the eye of a shitacane. Like, we're way down in there. But anyway, let's bring my lovely adorable face back in here again. So Luna, who's in? Who is in? If you have Amazon Fire Stick, you're already in. If you have a mobile phone, you're already in. If you have a Twitch Prime Gaming subscription, boy, you are in. Does that mean that it's a good thing? I don't know. I suppose we're going to have to wait and see. We can't be too hasty on this. We wasn't too hasty on Google Stadia. We wasn't too hasty on Xbox Game Cloud. We reviewed those as and when they came out, and then we give our final judgments on them. The final judgments are obviously ever-changing because we are in a world where internet connections are changing on the daily, so you might only get 30 meg one day. Virgin Media roll out their new lines, their brand new fibre lines, and boom, you've got a gig download within a few days. So again, circumstances around cloud gaming are changing on the daily. So something that might be shit, like Google Stadia, might end up coming clutch at some point. Who knows? But it looks like cloud gaming is here to stay. With that many people throwing their hat into the ring, it does look. I mean, this control looks fire. That control. Let me bring it back on screen for you again. Let me just make this, I'll make it bigger, no joke. I'll move me off the screen so you can get a full look at this. Look at that controller. That looks like the Google Stadia controller, which, by the way, is the best part of Google Stadia. That controller is nice and weighty. It fits perfectly in the bigger hands. Not necessarily as big as the Duke controller for the Xbox, but it was perfectly weighted for the bigger hands, like mine. It was a great controller. So this looks like it's well on its way to being like that as well. But in terms of a video game console, what it offers, I'm guessing that you're probably going to have a 4K stick or something that's fast. If you've got an old gen Fire Stick, it's probably not going to be that great for you. But I can see that the chat has absolutely been flying. So let me go back through this. Let me get up on this one so I don't have to get my old man glasses out. So timed out by Graham. Okay, great start. Link to his OnlyFans, says KK. I get loads of games on Prime anyway. Same. I'm in that group. Just bought a Fire Stick to replace Sky. Okay, wink, 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 wink. Are you getting all that free sport and all that? Yeah. Sorry, you're paying a monthly subscription for all that free sport. Yeah. Are you doing that? Are you doing that? I bet you are, aren't you? I seen your tweets yesterday, so nothing gets past Bibaruni. Next Gen Base says, incredible scam artist there. Absolutely, exactly. He's out of here. Ban him. I did it already. Spike says about sexual favours. I can't. I mean, I am married, so I can't do that without Samantha's permission, unfortunately. Madge says, drop me a whisper. I honestly feel at this rate, we're going to end up buying all of our games through subscriptions, basically Netflix Prime. I have no problems with that. I genuinely have no problems. If I know that I'm getting value for money, which is why I'm not on PlayStation now, I feel like Game Pass. I mean, I've seen Tito in the chat already do the exclamation mark Game Pass. If I know I'm getting value for money, I've got no problems in paying a monthly subscription for games. Genuinely none. So if that's the way that it's going, fine by me. But just make it people's worthwhile, and then I'm guessing people will stay subscribed. Got the daughter on it too, says Spike. Fantastic. Seriously though, these subscriptions are getting ridiculous. 53 different streaming platforms, 31 game streaming subscriptions. Ain't gonna happen. Already seen a trend of digital subscriptions on the wane as people go back to work and a sheer number of options available. Rotating lineup sounds like a poor man's Game Pass. Is there a market? I think there is because I know that there is still a lot of people who play Stadia, and the people who play Stadia are people who don't own PlayStation 5s, that don't own the fastest PCs. They are more than happy to use their work laptop. They'll take their work laptop home, they'll plug in their controller or whatever it is, and they'll play on that. It costs them next to nothing. It may have cost them £50 originally. They may have got in when they wanted to buy Cyberpunk and they've managed to get the entire console for free because they bought Cyberpunk. Like, there is definitely a market for this out there. It's just, who is it aimed at? Like, who is your target audience? Is it the I hate using this term. Is it the hardcore? Is it the casual gamers? Is it the hardcore? It can't be the hardcore because they have much better PCs. They have much better options available to them. This is basically for me. And again, come for me if you don't agree, and I absolutely appreciate your opinion, but I feel like this is aimed at the people who enjoy playing mobile games. And again, there is nothing wrong with playing mobile games. We have talked about it very recently on here about the amount of mobile games that are out there that are fantastic experiences. But I feel like this is definitely tailored towards the people who, do you want a console? We can do one for £30 for you. It will require you to have access to a internet connection at all times. It does require you to have decent enough internet connection as well. 5G or maybe 30 meg up, 30 meg down, 10 up. Like, there is some small caveats, but if you're that type of person, we can do something for £30 and then a £10 subscription. You can have access to all these games. I've tried to put it as bluntly as possible and as easy, idiot-proof as possible there, and I feel like it definitely has an audience out there for this kind of thing, which is obviously why they keep on coming out. There is no way that Microsoft, Amazon, GeForce Now, Google Stadia are all putting stuff out there if they don't think there's a profitable market to be able to capture out there. Netflix taking the world by storm with what they offer, and people have tried to do the same thing with games, and I feel like everyone's winning apart from PlayStation Now because what they offered was a big steaming pile of shit on a plate. And for a lot of money as well. It was, don't forget, it was nearly £16 when PlayStation Now launched, which is an abysmal amount of money for such a shite service. It didn't include first party titles on launch. You might have been able to play a couple of PlayStation 2 games. You might have been able to play a lot of PlayStation 3 games that no one even wanted to play anymore. But people were subscribed to it for the longest time, and obviously now they're starting to reevaluate that entire product cycle. And I want to say it's called Project Scarlet, that's going to be coming out. Not too sure what it absolutely entails at this moment in time, but hey ho. It's Amazon, so who knows, says Timeless. Piracy led to some streaming services being great, then Netflix broken it up as other companies carved out their content, and now we've got 67 services that get same as Netflix, a pain in the ass. I'm using dark mode and I'm having to guess if I'm speaking to Spike or Madge based on how long their username is. I'm used to weighting things in my hand. Wait, that came out wrong, says Tito. Toilet TV, you know, IP. Tito says, Ice Cream Uploads, no, obviously 100% above board and all legal content. I would never out you for that kind of activity. Wink, wink. Anyway, Spike says, leave Samantha out of it. She can have Becky. It's not called a subscription on the Fire Stick. It's called a free gift. Well, it is on eBay anyway. Kalinko, how are you doing? Long time no see. How are you doing? Tino says, and Game Pass is only $10.99. It has gold subscription too. Next Gen Space says, Spartacus. And Spike says, this is Madge. I have a tiny willy. You're all so nice to each other. That's what we appreciate. That's what we all appreciate. But anyway, we've got one more news article for you today. Tino says, I had to double check that. We've got one more news article for you today. So let's get this one. Let's get this show on the road. Again, this is more of a PSA. This is the Drinks Wig epic timing. This is more of a PSA. You know we love to bring you these. If it's not Free Game Friday, this is the stuff that we need you to know kind of thing. That's the whole point of the show, is it not? Let me move myself over to the right. Written on Gaming Bolt by Sampede Banjiri. He states that the Xbox app on the PC is getting new features starting today. Microsoft adds the ability to select custom folders for games to be installed. Thank the fucking Christ. Thank you. I don't want to install stuff to my SSD all the time. Sorry about that. Along with the ability to move and repair files and more. While Microsoft has been committed to ensuring that everyone enjoys gaming regardless of what platform they're playing on, the Xbox app for the Windows platform has been lacking in features that the company's been asking for. The company, however, has been very responsive to these requests, and to that end, Xbox has now added new features to its PC app, further improving the user experience. Starting today, users on the Xbox app on the PC can select what folder to install their games in. Originally, the app used to create a folder at the root of storage, which was most inaccessible to the user, and files could never be moved. Besides that, users now have access to files for certain times, allowing movement of files and repairing, such as the more, along with the ability to mod games. These features for the app come right after Xbox announced that the games are being added to Xbox Game Pass for March, which is starting today. Hallelujah. Like, this for me was a problem because I do have an SSD. And on the Game Pass app, I'm fairly confident that you could move stuff about, but there was access to some files that you couldn't get access to without taking ownership of some certain files or unhiding some things. I can't remember. It was a while ago when I was trying to mod Skyrim, surprise, surprise, through the special edition on PC, and I was having a lot of trouble being able to do so because it wasn't as simple as like on Football Manager where you want to add some kits and stuff and you know where the folder is and shit. Like the Skyrim one was just baffling my head. I had to take ownership of a load of files and stuff. But this looks like it's going to sort that. It's going to be a massive improvement from a user interface start. Kali Nico says, doing great, had a big exam this year, man, and next week is going to start again. You know what, I was just about to ask you, because I remember the last time that I saw you in chat, you had some really big exams coming up. And I don't know whether or not you've been in since, but I hope that they went fine for you. I hope that you're doing well with those. And yes, no long time no see. Tino says, thank fuck, it was ludicrous. Mate, it was sending me under the amount of tutorials I had to go through to try and take ownership of these files because I had no idea that was a thing, was mind-boggling. But again, we move. Microsoft are doing bits out there. They are being very user-orientated. They're taking our feedback on board. They are giving us what we want, albeit it takes a while, but we get there eventually. So that's all that matters. Xbox did something great today. I do have an SSD too, and it's hard to mod, so I gave up modding. Again, it's just these small things that you think, actually, I'll be able to do that. It comes to it and you couldn't do it. And I thought I was being an idiot, but it turned out that it was quite a big problem out there. So I'm glad that Microsoft are addressing it and giving us an experience that we can continue to enjoy to the absolute nth degree. Slick J says, now they could only add toggle to mute option on console party app and some sort of built-in noise suppression. Again, all of those things are hopefully comments and concerns that they will be taking up on. I mean, they do have the Xbox game bar, don't they? Is it like Windows key G? and you can bring it up and it has all of the user interface stuff. I mean, Graham's a master at that stuff. He's got all that stuff built into his Elgato pedal now. Which is a lot easier for him because he just presses one button and then he can toggle between stuff. But again, the UI isn't the best on either of the consoles at this moment in time. Like the Xbox One and PlayStation 5 are both terrible. I hate the giant tiles. For me, bring back the Xbox 360 blades. That was the best interface that we ever had. Toggle with the R buttons, with the bumper buttons. You got to press up and down. You press A, you are good to go. But they seem to make it all very tiley and very square. And it's just a big blur in my opinion. Everything seems to feed into itself. Like you can't really tell the difference between half the stuff that's on there. Kelly Nico says they went great, and I got to spend time learning and all the time that I spent learning was worth it. I'm so happy to hear that, mate. I'm so happy to hear that. Graham says toggle to mute would be great. Push to talk is okay, but not what I want. And the deafen function too. Spike says Blades OS was by far, but was miles the best. But they want tiles because it fits better. Agree. Heck yeah, Blades were the absolute best. It was so easy to navigate, and I'm speaking like an absolute pension at this moment in time. So if you are below the age of maybe, how old was I when the Xbox came out? I was 15. So if you are below the age of probably 23, you probably won't remember it. Because you probably would have been too young to see the Blades before they moved into all the more modern stuff. But yeah, the Blades, man, it was iconic. In fact, I'm going to bring it all for you guys. Some of you may be a bit younger, so you might I can't remember when they revised it. But I don't know if it lasted that long. Xbox 360 Blades UI. Let's see what YouTube has to say about this. Modern Vintage Gamer did something on it. Dashboard evolution. So the original one was 2001, then 2005 was the Blades, 2011 is when they moved to tiles. Yeah, terrible. Right, so this is a 36-minute video. Obviously, just give me where the Blades are. Here we go. Have a look at this bad boy. This was next level stuff. Why did I just see Spawn Wave then? Is this just someone tabbing through? Oh, they're going through all the back end stuff. We don't need to see the Windows Media Center. Here we go. Boom. If I fast forward, will it make it look a bit better? Oh, do you know what? I'll just get a picture. Jesus Christ! But I tried to do something nice for you all, and all YouTube does is shit on me. Why hasn't someone just put up a 1-minute video of what they used to look like rather than a full deep dive? Forget it. Xbox 360 Blades UI. Here we go. I should have just done this in the first place. Console, I'll even move my face out of the way for you guys. So this is what the Blades console used to be. It used to be a splash page. It just used to be a splash page here, and then you used to tab through Games, Media System, Xbox Live, and Marketplace. Boom. How easy is that? And then they moved to all this crap. Look, Blades, and then started moving to all this, and eventually we get to where we are today in these. Like, Blades was so much easier. It's a shame that you can't upload old UIs again and just use it. I imagine if you completely factory restored your Xbox 360, you may be able to get back to that again, or there might be a mod somewhere, but just being able to roll back would be an amazing experience. It was so fast. Like, nothing was clunky. It just went exactly where you wanted it to go within seconds. It was class. Dave says they went to tiles with the Metro interface for Windows 8. Spike says I missed the avatars too. It's a shame that they gave up on that. Loved my Sons of Anarchy jacket on my avatar. Do you know what? It wasn't until maybe when I got my Series S around Christmas time, when I upgraded to my Pixel phone, that I actually changed my avatar. So I was still wearing the City shirt from 2011 when I signed in, which was quite nice. It was a nice little throwback. I hadn't seen the avatar in what felt like an absolute eternity, so that was a nice little reminder of what it used to be like. Slick J says, yes, it's exactly what I was thinking. Kali Nico says, but they really should have fixed their taste for how Xbox looks. The old ones were great designs. I mean, it's something that's intuitive and works is, for me, the best option when you are creating something for people to try and enjoy. Something that takes forever to be able to tab through, press 17 buttons to try and get to your party chat. That's not a very good experience. A UI is all about getting someone from A to B in as little clicks as possible. And when you're having a very laggy user interface because they're trying to cram as much information in your face to try and sell you stuff, that's where everything starts to fall down. It feels like the birth of, what was it, 2005 is when it came out, 2011 when it changed. We had a good run, boys. 6 years we had with that. So yeah, that's a nice little bit of nostalgia for you to be able to finish the scoop today. How's about that? You don't always get that, do you? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have been absolutely amazing today to try and help me keep company with this episode of The Scoop. I don't know if Graham will be back in tomorrow, but if he's not, we still go. We still move. We still have 2 more shows for you to try and shape. So if you do want to help shape those shows, there is 2 ways that you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. Find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or alternatively, get involved with our Discord. The only thing that we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day? 10 a.m. ish. Yeah, it's probably not going to be 10 a.m. We are extremely busy at this moment in time, hence why I've been going live around about 1, half 1. But we still give you a show. Do you know what I mean? You guys that are watching this on YouTube and watching this on Twitch, we are still giving you a show every single day. So if you want to help try and fill up a few hours of your day, then this is exactly where you need to be. I think tonight's stream for Graham will definitely be TBC. I don't think he's going to be playing Chasing Crates with mates on PUBG. So just keep an eye on our socials. It's at Ice Cream World across all major social media platforms. If you're in the chat, you'll be able to see it now. You can watch it in the description below if you are watching this on demand. But yeah, it's going to be TBC, I reckon. If I was a betting man, I'm going to say it's probably going to get cancelled tonight. He's already said tonight's stream's off. There you go. Boom, you've heard it from the horse's mouth. There is no Chasing Crates with mates tonight. I will put our tweet out later on to say that it has been cancelled. So yes, the next time that we're going to be streaming some gameplay is on Friday night, when hopefully all my audio issues have been resolved, because they was resolved, and I have left my PC on purposely so that nothing goes and gets rejected again. But we will be back live tomorrow at 10 a.m. ish with The Scoop. But as always, guys, I'm just going to read Spike's comment. I've been meaning to game for 35 years now. I've got an Xbox UI. I can get lost quite easily, which says a lot. There you go. Timeless with the socials. Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, guys, again, appreciate every single one of you. We are going to go and raid someone, so do stick around. Usually I'd be preparing this when Graham's going through all the stuff, so you will probably be around in the chat for about a minute or so. So please do stay along in the chat. We'll send you over to someone awesome, and you will get some sprinkles in there as well. If you are Lotus and you're on your way to try and get in a mod application, this is absolutely where you should be to try and get some sprinkles points. And Slick J, thank you very much for the follow 10 minutes ago. I very much appreciate it. But again, guys, until next time, as always, there's one thing that we want you to do, my friends. And if you've got the emoji, put it in the chat. And that, my friends, is to stay frosty.